Hello, my name is Jean-Paul Bichelli. You can call me JP. This is my first video. It's going to be about manifestation, or what is commonly regarded as law of attraction. I'm going to do it according to the teachings and methods of Neville Goddard. However, one very important difference between myself and any other persons who teach the law of attraction or teach the law is that I'm going to be coming from a perspective of direct experience. I'm not going to offer you any fluff. I'm not going to exaggerate anything. I'm going to give it to you, my personal experience and experiences in real time, as many times as I can during the week, what I'm going through, what I've been through, what I'm currently still going through. And I have to admit, I am afraid. I have courage and faith, and I have to admit, at first I wasn't going to make these videos because I felt a tremendous amount of fear and trepidation. There's a lot of sadness and despair that I've went through, and to some extent currently still going through, and quite frankly it's painful. But my hope is that by putting my head on the chopping block, so to speak, and exposing myself and my personal experiences, that there will be a tremendous benefit. I hope that you learn from this as much as you can, and I'll say for the future that I welcome any inquiry from anybody. I don't care who you are or where you came from. You feel free to either message me. I'll offer and put my information, my Gmail account, later on in the comment section after I upload it. But let's dive in. So, like I said, my name is Jean-Paul Bichelli. This is live time. It's a little after 9 o'clock here in Glassboro, New Jersey. That's South Jersey. I'm 46 years old. I am currently employed full-time. I have an extremely stressful job where it's in regards to behavioral modification for at-risk youth here in Glassboro. I am also currently homeless and live in my car. It's tough to admit that. I don't well, it's not something to be proud of, to be quite frank. I've been in this condition for a couple of years now. I don't blame anybody. I know it's fully my responsibility. And to give a little background, okay, I learned about Neville about 4 years ago, and that's when I started this journey. Since then I became homeless, sadly, and a few years ago when that happened to me, I had a small savings. I was unemployed. I had just graduated college. I graduated from Wilmington University in Delaware with a degree in psychology, and I was things befell me and I became destitute and homeless. And for that time period, at the beginning, I existed in Millville, New Jersey, which is a town about half an hour away next to Vineland. Also at the same time, something very painful for me to reveal was my mother was also homeless, and she existed and she suffered from some level of paranoia, and she hasn't been diagnosed with schizophrenia at all. I could tell you that when this first happened to me, I was just trying to deal with it. It was in the summer, and it was extremely hot. I have a Hyundai Tiburon. I had to live in that car. Many of the friends I had, or thought I had, turned their back on me. I didn't really ask for much help, but they didn't really respond or really come to my aid. of course, that did cause some obvious resentment in me. If I'm just being honest, and I was combating that and still trying to apply the teachings of Neville at the same time, but it was difficult. I used to go to a little coffee shop called Bogart's Coffee House that was on High Street in Millville, and I would read books during the daytime to escape the heat. I was able to eat on occasion. I sought help for myself and my mother through various social service organizations and churches. Let me tell you, not one of them was able to help. After repeatedly trying again and again and again, contacting social service workers and Veterans Affairs liaisons and churches and church ministers, I was dumbfounded. I could not believe. And my mother's, she's 72 now. She was 70 then. Nobody cared. I didn't have any family to turn to. I was unemployed. I didn't know what to do. My mother was suffering from paranoia and destitution. Luckily, she didn't have any terminal illnesses. I tried to get her into a hospital a couple of times, but she was able to stay there maybe a day or two at a time, but nothing consistent. I can tell you how painful it was just to see the tethered face of my own mother. I mean, we were in the middle of winter, blizzards, and the heat of the summer. It was just unreal. I couldn't believe it. It was. I can only describe it as hell. If there is a hell, if there's a hell to experience, that's gotta be it. And I was looking for work. I wasn't having any success. I was still existing through, really, honestly, abject terror, sheer terror, confusion, anger, resentment, despair, you name it. Whatever it is a human being can go through. Yeah, I went through it. And it was changing all the time. I was trying to hold on to a wall, to the power of imagination, but at the same time, combating this condition and having to see my own mother share it with me. It was just horror. And I eventually was able to manifest a job. That's the job I have now. That started a couple of years ago. I remember right before that, just days before that, I remember poignantly that I was in this park. It was across from Bogart's Cafe in Millville. And it was like early spring, so it was still very chilly. I had this coat on, and I just broke down. I just wept bitterly and sobbed. I felt this pain, this fist, like a balled up fist in my own chest, just swelling and welling up. It was making me choke. I just sobbed bitterly. And I remember there were just people walking by, acting like I didn't even exist. I'd never felt so alone and invisible. I don't even know how long I was there. I just kept feeling my tears stream down endlessly and tasting the salt of my own tears. Eventually, though, I was able to pull myself out of it. And a couple days later, I received a phone call about this job, and I was extremely grateful. I got hired, and I've been working there ever since. It's a very stressful job, and honestly, no, I don't like it. Of course, I don't care for it. I was like, but even besides that, I appreciate the fact that I have one. But even still, my mother was still homeless. And she couldn't sleep in my car because I would have to go to work. And I remember in the winter having to see my own mother sitting on park benches, wrapped in her multiple lowered layers of clothes and coats, and in blizzards and in winter, snow's coming down. It's freezing outside. In the teens, I have to leave her and go to work and exist in a state where I'm just like every day, I will wax wane between terror and fear and hope and courage, and I just I couldn't find any stability. I tried every day. I tried to contact social service workers anyway. The police, nobody would help. It was like the more I looked on the outside for any help, doors couldn't slam any faster in our faces. It was unreal. I couldn't believe it. I was like, it's like we left for dead. Nobody cared, and we didn't exist. But still, I'll tell you this: you could call me many things in this world. You can call me anything. But I'm one stubborn son of a bitch. I really am, and I'm determined, and I'm just not going to give up. I will remain unmoved until whatever I desire is objectified. Trust me, I've been around this long. 46 years old, a military veteran, college graduate. Doesn't matter. Been through hell and back and still going through it, and I refuse to give up. Luckily, I had a couple friends who would allow me to sleep maybe in the apartment like once a week or whatever. That was during like the dead of winter when it was like I just would wrap myself, and it didn't matter how many blankets I had. It was just freezing, and I would sit there and just my teeth would chatter. You turn your car on, you turn your car off and run the heat, but your gas is dwindling, and I have to like monitor whatever I'm able to save, and basically just trying to survive and get by. And then the heat in the summer, like the windows on my car don't work. I can't put it down. Luckily my air conditioner works. I remember sitting there in Millville, and it's like 80 degrees even at 2 in the morning, and I'm just opening my door, laying there, like sweat covering my face, just trying to relieve myself and find some relief. And then sure, you could run the air conditioner for a little bit, but eventually and I would walk around town and I would go to Wawa and I would get Black and Milds and I would smoke them over. I was so unbelievably exhausted and just worn out on every level of my being, mentally, emotionally, physically. And I would just walk around and smoke over and over and over again until 8 in the morning, until this bookstore would open up and I would sit there and finally get some relief. And that's how I existed for about a good solid year, okay, until I got this job. I don't make enough money to get a place, okay, I'm just being honest. I don't. I haven't been able to locate anybody who's willing to partner up with me, or like go in as roommates. I work doubles, so I work doubles to try to earn as much as I can and save as much as I can. And it's currently led me to right now, to May 26, 2020. And if you think it's hard then, it's like now we have this pandemic, the coronavirus, and everything's closed, so there's nowhere to get relief. It's just only outside. That's it. No restaurants are open. I mean, we have Wawas, luckily, and a couple of small Indian shops around the corner that I go to, and I'm able to get food, and they allow me to cook food at work. I don't know, none of my coworkers know. I can't let them know, or my company know, the condition I'm in, because I don't know what would happen. So I have to basically exist and keep this as a secret to myself. Now, I've experienced many things and many good things, okay? So I don't want this to come off like it's like some sort of tirade or I'm complaining. I'm not. I'm putting my head on the chopping block, okay? I know I'm gonna have, if I'm lucky enough, like tons of critics, people who are ready to stone me literally with the facts of life about what I should do and what I shouldn't do and how stupid I am, and etc. And I'm going to be honest, I don't care, okay? If I were going to be moved by the opinions of others, I would have given up ages ago, okay? So I'm still in the midst of developing a stronger confidence in myself. As Neville calls the self, he's like, God is your own wonderful human imagination, and exercising this power and envisioning myself and feeling myself to be the man I want to be, and at every moment of time, I could tell you, every moment in my mind's eye, in my brain, in my imagination, I am affirming the man that I am, okay? And Some days it's not easy. I'm not gonna sugarcoat it. Some days it's damn hard. It's goddamn hard. Okay, to go around and to persuade yourself and to convince yourself feelingly that you are the man you want to be, and the things that are around about you, whether it's hot or cold or things aren't going away, are literally just shadows passing away, and that to remain faithful to your vision, whatever it is. Okay, I know that nobody on this earth now or at any other time is going to be able to dissuade me. And that's really important. I've had lots of people tell me I'm dumb, or it's stupid, this idea is stupid, like you're really just wasting a lot of time, you're dying, you're getting older. I've heard it all, okay? And I simply choose to turn my back on that and to persist, okay? And it's, I've existed so much in literally hell and abject terror every day. Just not too long ago, a couple months ago, I went through a bout with, I wanted to kill myself. I wanted to die. I couldn't take the pain anymore. I literally, I prayed to God. I was like, please God, kill me. I just don't want to exist anymore. I don't want to wake up to this reality anymore. I can't handle it any longer. And, I don't have family. I don't have, other than my mother, and, luckily, what happened is I kept persisting that something would improve for her, for us. About a year ago, sadly she had a near fatal heart attack. They literally found her, unbeknownst to me, out in the snow by a fast food restaurant on Delsey Drive. Okay, and I don't even know how I was able to be contacted. I really don't. Maybe they looked at my mother's phone or whatever, but she went to Our Lady of Lourdes Hospital in Camden. She was in critical condition. I was unable to see her. Eventually, they moved her to Manor Care, and that's where she's been to this day. I remember the first time after that incident, when I went to see her at Manor Care, I couldn't believe it. I thought I would see her even more gaunt or more physically debilitated. She wasn't. She was radiating. She looked younger. I was stunned, like literally stunned. And I sat there and I spent a lot of time with her. And I had a cousin, she came down. She lives in Washington, D.C. She was able to see her. So my mom's there, and thank God, thank the Father within that she's there, that my persistence paid off. It's sad that they have to happen that way. Okay, I didn't want it to have to happen that way. But at least there was an improvement, and she was safe, because I could tell you that having to look your own mother in the face every day in the dead of winter or the heat of the summer, not knowing if you're going to come back and you're going to see her and she's going to be alive, I wish, I pray that no one ever has to go through that. Literally, I don't ever want that to happen to anyone. So here I am, real time. I want to teach these teachings. I'm not asking anybody for any money. I'm not asking you for 1 red cent. You don't have to believe me if you want to. You could make fun of me as much as you want to, or you can ask as many questions as you like. I promise you, I will do the best I can in my ability to answer each and every question with the best of my ability, and to relate to it from personal experience, because I find that with law of attraction teachers, etc., there's nothing wrong with a lot of them. There's quite a number of them I follow and respect and admire. But it's rare that you really find anybody talking about the pain they've been through. Really, like the pain and trials and tribulation, the sheer hell that they're going through or have been through. I